Hey everyone, welcome back to Muscle Motivation. And I just got done with the leg workout with my buddy, and I was laying on the floor at the end of it, contemplating my life choices. I'm really tired. I feel like I could fall asleep like right now, and it was probably one of the hardest leg workouts I've had in a very long time. And that kind of segues into what I want to talk about today, which is, are you putting enough into your gym time? One of the big main things I always advocate for is trying to not overdo it and knowing your limits. So for me today, I didn't really get a whole lot of sleep the night before, and I didn't really feel good throughout the workout. So regardless, I did something stupid and kept pushing through, and I felt like I was sick like halfway through my workout and didn't feel good at all. And that's my limit, is like if I get probably less than 6 hours of sleep. I didn't really eat that much because my lunch was like lighter today, and my pre-workout snack just wasn't a lot of carbs, so like it really affected my workout. And now like I know my limits, where it's like, well, if I have like only 6 hours of sleep and not a lot of food in my system, I shouldn't push myself as hard. And that's good to figure out my limit, because you got to push yourself to that limit to figure out where it is, because if you never do, then you just really don't know what you're capable of, and you're leaving some gains on the table. I prefer to train. Right now I'm doing about 12 to 18 sets, working sets. And what I mean by working, 12 to 18 sets to failure every single set. Between the rep ranges of 12 to 8 reps. And that is like right smack dab in the middle, perfect for my recovery, perfect for like what I want to get accomplished in the gym. It's pushing me without absolutely killing my recovery, and that's great for me. However, for you might not be able to do as much as I can do. Maybe you're not as advanced of a lifter as I am, and maybe your working sets are, maybe you don't do every single set till failure like I do. You do more, the very last set till failure, and you leave some reps in reserve for the ones beforehand, and that's completely fine because you know your limits. I just got done doing my first competition. I want to put on as much muscle as I possibly can from now until then. And I figured the best way for me to do that is I need to find this new limit, with me being lighter and being able to eat again, what my strengths and what my weaknesses are. And as of right now, I'm getting my strength back. It's fantastic. I'm having a lot of fun. And secondly, my cardio sucks because I haven't been able to run. But that's where you need to test yourself. Once you test yourself, you figure out that limit, you need to make sure that you're doing a deload every 8 weeks. And what I mean by a deload is you're doing what you think is your maximum capacity, not even maximum because you don't want to push yourself that much, and you take the time once every 8 weeks to do either same amount of weight, half the reps, or same amount of reps, half the weight. And this will allow you to still go to the gym, go through the motions. You still get that timeout. Some people use the gym, to get out of their house, and that's perfectly fine. And being that deload, you still get out. So one of my main advocacies for the deload is that you give your body that extra time to recover. Because yes, you're still moving around, you're doing what I call active recovery, where you're still doing your cardio, and you're still going in the gym and going through everything, you're just not touching anywhere near failure. You're leaving maybe like 6 reps in reserve, just because we want to make sure that your body has time to recover. And 8 weeks is like that sweet money in between everything, where it's like, okay, I go hard for 7 weeks straight, now let me on this 8th week do, like, you go through, you're gonna feel like crap, like you're gonna go through the gym and you're going to feel like you're not doing anything, but then you're gonna come back, and sometimes your strength will go up from being able to do that deload, because your body actually had time to fully recover. The next thing I do want to talk about is if you really are like pushing your limits, make sure you're not pushing that limit when you are in deep prep. If you're trying to compete, do not start doing your hitting PRs like 8 weeks out. Like, no, you're gonna get hurt. I hurt my shoulder during prep, and that's what did it. Was I tried to maintain my strength and my reps, and I hurt my shoulder. Couldn't keep up. Recovery was terrible because I didn't have food in my system. So make sure that when you're finding your limit and you're going for it and you're pushing all you want, gain that muscle mass, just make sure you're eating enough food to be able to fuel those workouts. One thing that I've noticed, and I'm never ever going to push supplements, but what I would say is, like, I use pre-workout every single time I work out. I use a non-stim one, so no caffeine at all. It just helps with the blood flow, and I still get a pretty gnarly pump with it. So if that is what helps you, the only reason I take no caffeine, not against caffeine, I drink a lot of caffeine, is because I work out towards the evening. So if I would drink like 200 milligrams of caffeine, I would have trouble sleeping. And that's where we're going to roll into, like, maybe your next part of recovery is that, like, once you find your limit, you need to make sure that you are maximizing your recovery as much as possible. And one of the most important things, not just eating, but is sleeping. Like I said earlier, I only got 6 hours of sleep, maybe, if I was lucky last night, and I had a rough day. I had to have extra caffeine because I needed to push through my full-time job. I needed to then get through my workout with my buddy, which is leg day today, and I didn't realize that my lunch was lighter than normal, and I didn't have like enough carbs in my snack. So like I got hurt the hard way, because first it all started spiraling out of not getting enough sleep. And if you do that consistently enough, you're going to injure yourself because your body's not able to keep up with everything. If you are falling asleep at your desk playing video games or at work, you need to get more sleep, because you're going to get hurt, or you're going to end up not being able to gain as much, because the time your body builds the most amount of muscle is while you're sleeping. That's when it's able to recover. That's when it's able to rebuild and do a recomposition of all your micro and macronutrients and make sure everything's going to the places it's supposed to. It deloads your brain so that you can actually relax, because nobody wants to be all jittery and jumped up when they're trying to gain as much muscle as possible. And for people that are on steroids, that's like them every single day, and I don't want to be like that. It doesn't seem fun at all. So make sure you get sleep. And I think one of the last things I'm going to talk about here is just, and I'll probably make a completely separate video about this, but make sure that you're having good work-life balance, okay? If you are a beginner to the gym, you do not need to go to the gym as much as you think. Your body can gain just as much muscle as my body can doing half the work, because you don't have as much as I do. My muscles, it takes a lot more for my muscles to get fatigued and break down and start actually trying to build more muscle, because there's more there. Whereas for beginners, they need half the working sets because their body has nothing, and it's gonna, oh shoot, we're building muscle. All right, it's super easy, quick. And if you're not getting a good work-life balance, you're going to get burned out. And one of the very first things to go, unfortunately for most people, is the gym when they have a hard time. And for me personally, I ended up giving away some of my free time because not only am I a full-time active duty Marine, I'm also a father and a husband, and I also want to do the bodybuilding, and I also go to college part-time. That's a lot. So I had to sit with myself and realize that, hey, I'm going to have to give away my free time that I get once all the kids are down and they're asleep, once my wife wants nothing to do with me, and it's just me and I have time alone. You know what I'm doing? I'm sitting there either modifying my workouts, making sure all my macros and micros are good. I'm helping a couple buddies lose some weight, so I'm doing their calculations and stuff. Or I am doing college, and you have to realize that you're probably not going to be able to do everything that you possibly want to do, especially if you're like me, you have a full-time job, you're a father or a mother, and you are also trying to get further educated. You're just going to have to give up. But one of the things that I will leave you off with today, and this is my biggest message today, is if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if something's hard, then it's worth fighting for, because at the end of the result, you're going to be healthier from going to the gym. You're going to be smarter for putting the time in to get further educated, and you're still grinding out that full-time job to make more money. And also, just stay positive, keep your head high, just be okay and embrace the suck, because eventually one day it's all going to pay off. And I think that's where I'll leave you guys off with today. I'll probably make a completely separate video about like how I balance my work and my personal life, and also trying to do content creation and bodybuilding and everything. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.